Hey, and good morning to another ageless show. And my name is Tony Hill, and I'm the host of the show. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like to special shout out to all of those who sponsor and support the channel, Jerfro's Botanicals, Successfully Aging with Mike Green, and also TK Fit. Uh, and last but certainly not least, Touche Fitness, tough, outrageously unique, challenging, highly motivated exercise. We come to you with an amazing show. Before we get started, I'd like for you to literally share this or like this channel. Please do that. You'll probably see it in the corner from time to time. You'll see the information where it says at Touche Fit. You'll see the Instagram, and you'll also see the Touche Fitness YouTube. You can go there and get this channel. And every Sunday at 8 a.m., we're live talking about being ageless. Don't let your age be your cage. So the show today is going to be twofold. We're going to talk about cellulite, where did it come from, why do you have it, things like that. And we're going to kind of dig into that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about this new strain that the WHO is talking about with my co-host, Mike Green. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring Rambro from Sweden, successfully aging guru, Mike Green. What's up, brother?
Tony.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm like, this is like really cool, man, because, people have been actually wanting you to come here. I've been asked, just thought. They said, when is Mike coming to the United States? I just thought you like to know that. They're asking about you already. So, Mike, one of the things we're going to talk about today, can you give us just a brief intro on the X before we get into the cellulite? Because I've gotten, once I made that statement, I actually wanted to start this morning with cellulite, but I would think I want to end with it, because when I brought up X, they were going, uh-oh. And then they said, because they never heard, well, some of them are hearing it, some of them are not. And I said, it's on that some WHO channel. I mean, I said, you need to find it, you need to look at it. And so now they're really concerned. So Mike, kind of give us a insight on what that is, brother.
Okay, so about a couple of weeks ago, the WHO, World Health Organization, that's located here in Europe, I'm in Sweden, they came out with a study, and they have over 300 scientists that work on these studies. And they're saying that there is a new strain that is out already, and it's called Disease X or Pandemic X. Now, X means unknown. Okay. Now, when you think about it, in a sense of that, there are pathogens, which are like bacterias, that are still unknown to scientists. So they're saying that it is inevitable for another pandemic. It's going to come, but it's more or less, how do we prepare ourselves for what's coming? And not to alarm the audience out there in the world. If you think about it in this sense, then you could like calm down a little bit, and there's no need to panic. These pandemics have been happening since the beginning of time, over 10,000 years ago, ever since the hunter and gathering started happening. It was malaria and things like that even back then. So this is more about to create an awareness for people so they can prepare for the next pandemic or epidemic that is surely to come, because there's so many things out there. And then also what's important is that you have communicable diseases. For example, COVID-19 is a communicable disease, right? Okay. Now it's passed from human to human.
Right.
And then we have non-communicable diseases,
Right.
which is not passed from human to human. And this is brought on by the human themselves. And this is what we call hypertension, aka high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and even cardiovascular diseases. So to put it all in a nutshell, Disease X is a disease that's unknown, but it is coming. So this is to bring awareness to people and how to prepare for the next pandemic.
So do you believe that, well, let me get a little political here. Do you believe it's man-made, or do you the reason I asked the question is because one of the things that really this makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but if I told somebody, a group of people, that I'm going to kill you guys tomorrow, and this is what I'm going to use, it seems as if though I would be put in prison. And when the government says that we have an unknown origin, something that's going to come, and it's going to wipe out 50 million people across the globe. My question, there's this thing in my head that says, how is 50 million people going to actually, how did you come up with that number? What do you have to say about that, brother?
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of assumption there on their part. I mean, nobody really knows. But I think one of the worst pandemics was in Europe. It was called the Black Death, where it nearly almost wiped out the entire Europe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Black Death. That almost wiped out the entire Europe. So the thing is that, is it man-made? I wouldn't make that assumption, is because every day as a human being, when you're outside, that we are exposed to different toxins and things of that nature. So it's not only now what you're eating, it's environmental as well.
Wow, because everything's not the same.
Yeah, the toxins and everything. Now, the good news is that over a period of time, that life expectancy has gone up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back in the days, we would like be out of here. Like, I don't know, some people were passing away in the 50s. And
that's true,
even in the 40s. But now it's going up. You have people living well into their 90s and even over 100 years old.
Yeah, which is good.
It's putting some pressure on Social Security and everything like that. They're like, wait, hold on. We're going to have all these 100-year-olds out here and everything. And then remember, Tony, the information that we're giving is, and especially when we're talking about exercise and nutrition in your adult years.
Oh, okay.
It's quite different from when we was children.
Right.
This is exercise in which you are well versed in, and also nutrition, but in your adult years, because things start to change in the body. Your smelling, your taste, the elasticity inside of your, I don't mean to sound so graphic, but in your anal cavity. This is why you have seniors that experience this constipation and everything like that. They start to deteriorate.
Wow.
So this is why we go back to those baby phases. It's like almost you got to start eating baby food again. But baby food to me is like smoothies, juices, which is all good things, But this is more about like, how do you prepare? Because all these pandemics are based on viruses.
And these viruses attack your immune system. And if you don't take care of your body, you can't fight it. You become a victim.
Absolutely, Tony. And another important thing for the audience out there is to realize is that over 70% of your immune system is located in your gut.
Wow.
Okay. So if over 70%. So now if you want to really focus on building your immunity, right?
Mhm.
And your immune system, look no further than your gut health. That
Mm.
is so key. And then if you want to go deeper in, if you're willing to do a cleanse of the lymphatic system, which is your body's sewage system,
Mm.
then you can really dig in because the lymphatic system is, when you have some type of infection or disease, you have
Right.
these lymph nodes in your body. They're located under your arms, between your groins, in
Correct.
the
Yes.
back of
Yes.
your
Yes.
ears, your throat, and then you
Yes.
start to see these lumps come up, the
Yeah.
swelling, right?
Yeah.
This is
Exactly.
your lymph node. It means that it's too much trash that's backed up in the body, and it
Mm.
needs to be released.
Mm.
You think about building your immune system up,
Mhm.
focus on your gut health, and you are really going to thrive. The immune system is going to build, and you're going to have, what do we call them? We call them the fighter T cells in
Huh.
the immune system that comes in, and when they are on point, they are kicking some butt. Any pathogens, any bacterias that come in the body, you talking about a war. It
Wow.
is a war. But the more you build up your immune system, all of that is going to come out. So this is why the importance of both nutrition and exercise
Mhm.
is really, really important. And then when
Mm.
you think about it on this scale, it starts to
Right.
make sense.
Right.
Everything on this planet is interconnected in nature. All right. This is why we just simplify it
Mhm.
and we say that, okay, stick to the minerals. The
Correct. Yes.
minerals are in the earth, they are in the universe, they're in the cosmos.
Right.
Okay. When I speak of minerals, I'm
Right.
talking about selenium, zinc, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, and it goes on and on. So when you stick to your minerals,
The answer, huh?
you automatically start to build up your immune health.
Wow. So they're the answer then. They're the real answer.
Yeah, that's it. That's to simplify it. It's just stick to what nature has made
Mhm.
because we are a part of it. And sooner or later, we're all going to be topsoil. When let's go, we go back to the dirt, yes, and we become topsoil.
Yeah, somebody was talking, I remember I seen this thing about cremation.
Mm,
And because there's some controversy about it, especially amongst the Christian community. And you know, then they looked at there's no scriptural background to say, well, no facts on that to kind of figure that out. So, but they did say this, what you just said. They took a body who had been dead for a minute, right? And it looked like the same thing as you cremated. You actually like dust.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost like the whole, whether you're gonna get burned up or you're gonna be buried in years. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the same stuff, and it's crazy because they took I guess they had somebody buried and they exhumed them or whatever, and they went in and it was the same stuff. Because usually in some countries they don't put you in a coffin; they just put you in the dirt.
put you in yeah,
They
and you
wrap
go
you up,
right back to the soil. It's like you took a loan from nature, and
right? Yeah,
you
so
know,
it's like when you look at it though, like going back to this X thing, it's like one of the questions that they ask is, what do you specifically need to combat this X thing, this unknown thing, and how do you prepare for it? Well, you said it. Minerals is the biggest thing to prepare. Is it, the question too is, liquid mineral vitamin is good, or do you want to go, where can you find, what foods are high in these minerals?
Okay, when we talk about like selenium, zinc, okay,
Mhm,
iron, okay, I would
mhm,
definitely go to, for people that don't have problems with allergies, I would go to
mhm,
my nuts and seeds. Okay,
mhm.
uh, the king walnut. That's
Ah,
yeah, it's one of my favorites, loaded with minerals. And then, of
ah,
course, you got your seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, and it goes on and on. The thing, a lot of people, they ask me about almonds, but this is something that you may not know about almonds, and I suggest you do your research on this right away. Almonds do contain a small amount of cyanide. Okay, so just to let you know, but
I
yeah, do your own research on that. It contains, almonds contain cyanide.
think I heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah, very small traces, so it's unlikely that you'll, die from eating a bunch of almonds. But if it contains cyanide, is
Mhm.
that something that you want to eat daily inside your trail mixes and everything like that? So there's a variety of nuts and seeds that you can make your own trail mixes with and everything like that, that can provide a lot of rich minerals for you. And then, of course, you go into your fruits, right? And then your vegetables, and then your whole grains. Okay.
Mhm.
So then you think about it, fruits, they digest in less than 30 minutes. Okay. You eat it, you consume the fruits, they digest in 30 minutes. And fruits are
Wow.
so amazing. It's because sometimes you don't have to chew as much. Of course, if you're eating an apple, you're going to have to chew some. But you think about nowadays, everybody is what do we call, barfing the food down. They're not chewing their food long enough, to make it mushy, to where it could easily digest better. What
Right.
they're doing is they're just taking big chunks, man. I mean, swallowing it down like a what do you call, like a pelican or a seagull.
Wow.
I saw somebody take a big chunk of a T-bone steak, man, and they swallowed that in one take. I said,
Well, what swallowed it?
yeah, a human,
Really?
yeah, person eating it, not an entire T-bone, but I'm talking about a big chunk of it, and
Raw?
take a couple of chews and just swallow it. So everything is so quick and fast. So when is
Right.
the last time that someone can say, when you sat down and you
Mhm.
just put the food in your mouth and actually just
Right.
chew enough and
Right.
enjoy it and then digest it? Because once you chew it enough, it's going to help digestion even more. If you
Yeah.
swallow the food too fast, it takes the digestive system that much longer to digest it. And
Mhm.
this, in turn, is going to take more energy from your body when
Oh,
it needs to be working on other things. So, in preparing for the next pandemic,
yeah.
X or what
Yeah.
have you, is that you eat the foods that is going to serve you best. And these foods are filled with minerals, enriched with minerals. And I'm talking about fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and of course, your liquids with your water and everything. This could be in the form of smoothies and
Right.
juices as well, if you're busy, because I know sometimes in the adult years
Yeah.
that preparing your own meals at home can be a challenge.
Right.
This
Right.
is why the smoothies and the juices are so good to have on the run. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and then you go,
Right. 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 Yeah. Because, going back to the almonds, it said the almonds naturally contain a toxin that
Yes.
your body breaks down into cyanide. Actually,
Hmm.
uh, it's, well, we know cyanide causes death. Then it says that it contains 1.4 milligrams. Each almond contains 1.4 milligrams
Yeah.
of cyanide. It's like a 20 to 25 milligrams. Because some people eat a handful or whatever the case might be, so you're getting that. But almonds, the cyanide that almonds have is not enough to poison you. Yeah. However, I did read something where it can actually affect your reproductive system. You know, it depends on the person and how much. And it's really interesting too, because most women, what nut do they like the most? Almond. They talk about that. They say, "Oh, I had some almonds today, and almonds in my." I go, why is it that women gravitate toward? It's not peanuts. It's not regular peanuts. It's not cashews. Every now and then, it's macadamia nuts I hear about, but I never hear about like walnuts or. I always hear almonds is the thing.
Wow,
it's crazy. Yeah. I don't even know why they create that like that. I don't.
I think it's I think it has something to do with the taste, and then also what the media is putting out there. Because remember, what's that? I don't know if they still have it there in the States. What is it? Silk that makes the almond milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had some things going on with them because they were saying that, well, your almond milk actually contains no almonds whatsoever. So what is that about? So it was like, how can you say it's almond milk and it contains no almonds? So maybe an almond flavor that can easily be, but like nowadays, what percentage of almonds is in almond milk? Think about it.
Probably very low. Now I know, I was doing some research here. You know, I'm a researcher. They said almonds contain like high levels of zinc.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it raises testosterone levels in people who are zinc deficient. What was so interesting too, we're talking about the pituitary gland, we're talking about hormone stimulation, and this is probably what women crave. Women, for the most part, crave almonds. Yeah, it's interesting, man. But so that next part, we don't know, it's unknown. But minerals, to recap, minerals is the best thing in things that are natural. This is probably not a good time to literally junk out, so to speak, because we're coming up on the winter season with or vulnerable viruses in the winter season than they are in the cold. Why is that?
Absolutely, because the viruses, and most of them, just like with COVID, just like with people that have herpes simplex 1 and simplex 2,
right,
is that the viruses can hide themselves inside of an envelope and hide themselves from the immune system, and as the season changes, then naturally everything just spikes up. People start catching these colds and different viruses, and not when they cough, they don't, or when they sneeze, they don't cover correctly.
Correct.
People are not washing their hands regularly. In fact, I be in a lot of malls and I see myself, I use a public restroom, which I try not to do because there's so many people that go in there and don't wash their hands.
Right.
And then you think about they're touching knobs, they're touching the food trays, and and it passes so quick. It's like a rapid fire, Tony.
Right.
And so it definitely spikes up because people simply not taking care of their hygiene enough. And they're out in public. And again, remember, a sneeze, when somebody sneezes, we're talking about 1 billion of invisible droplets that come out and just spread all over. And you inhale these invisible droplets.
Right.
And you just minding your business.
Yeah, because that sneeze is the person's body rejecting whatever doesn't work for them.
Absolutely. But then I don't want your funky stuff, man. So this is why, they say go like this. They go,
Exactly. That's what I do.
Do some type of covering, So and it's like one of those things where we're all humans, and what you do in your home is your business.
Right.
But when you're out in public, there is a thing called common courtesy.
Yes.
Where you're just looking out for your fellow human being and saying that, you know what, first of all, if I'm sick, maybe I should stay home.
Yeah.
Now, if I have to go out, I have to eat, I have to take care of some business, but I am not going to go out there and I'm sneezing and I'm coughing in a public place.
Exactly.
And not caring. Like, do something to protect yourself. Children are different because they're still learning, right? And then they'll get on the ground, they'll start wiping their hands on the ground, but they can heal faster than we can.
Yeah, exactly, because they're growing. Yeah.
Right. So as we go along, it's just more about being more responsible for yourself first.
Correct. Yes.
And then to your fellow human beings. And this is how you could keep it down. But I think, Tony, the first thing is, okay, I'll give you an example. I'll go back to where the viruses hide themselves in an envelope. And I'll give you an example of people that have herpes simplex 1 and herpes simplex 2. Okay, so the simplex 1, you could have on your genitals. Right. The simplex 2, you could have on your mouth, and you see people with these cold sores that they start popping up. Right. In the States, people are more shy about it. In Europe, I'll be seeing them every day. They don't care.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't care. Be popping all out. They don't care. They say, yeah, it's a cold sore. Yeah, so what? Well, yeah, I got it back in the days when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. Yeah. So it hides itself, in a way that the immune system can't detect it. So then it remains dormant, right? But then, being that people eat so much protein, then it shows its face and it gets nasty. Wow. So anyone that has it and they experience these cold sores popping out, if they stop eating protein for a while, it'll go right away.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The virus feeds off the protein because it is a protein. The virus is a protein.
So sometimes people eat too much protein. Really? Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. They eat more than the recommended daily allowance, and they don't have that balance. So what it is? Okay, yeah, eat protein, but where's your vegetables? Where's your fruits? Where's your whole grains? And you balance it out. So you ODing on the protein. Right. And the virus is a protein. It's going to show its face, and it may be a little ugly for you.
Wow. Yeah.
So you have people, it could be a quite embarrassing thing. People, they have a special event to go to, and then all of a sudden this thing pops out. And then they got to put makeup on top of it. Yeah. And that gets inside the cold sore. And then you have other problems that comes with that. Yeah. So the way you do it, for those out there, that if you know somebody, or even if you are experiencing these cold sores on your mouth or your genitals, do your best to stay away from protein and watch your little friend go back dormant. And it may not show again for a while, because I have plenty of clients that had this, and once they stopped the protein, it went away, and actually it never came back. And there are, just to let everybody know, there are some special herbs for this, and one is called Prunella vulgaris. Prunella, Prunella vulgaris, vulgaris, and they call it the all-heal herb. And I find it in, each year it comes in our backyard and in the surrounding area, and I pick it all the time. And it is antiviral.
Right, because you get it in the capsule?
No. I pick it naturally and I make a tea out of it.
But in America, you can get it in a capsule, right?
Yeah, you can. You could get it as a supplement in America. They do have it. And to add on to that, another powerful antiviral herb is oregano. Okay. You have oregano, and then also you have thyme, which is in the same family. They all are.
Yeah, I tried that oregano thing.
Yeah, so these are the antiviral herbs. So if you want to automatically start building your immune system and have something that could fight against viruses right away, you can even start adding oregano to your food, thyme to your food, or you can take the supplement. Sometimes before I get on the plane, what I do is I take a tablespoon of black seed oil, and a drop or two of oregano oil in the tablespoon, and I just take it, and I'm fine.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
It goes in and it kills viruses like that.
Yeah, because we got both. We got both of that. So that's a good thing, man. So that's how you fight X.
Yes.
So we're telling you this, audience. Again, I want to remind you, please, to like. Okay, because this helps our show grow. And just want to also say that this X thing by the WHO is not really popular right now, but it will be. And what all we're doing is giving you heads up, to actually be prepared, because that's the most important thing. You want to be prepared. We don't want to be caught like we were caught last time. I think.
Yeah, with the COVID, especially with the COVID.
Yeah, to be afraid, but you want to be able to prepare. Hey, that's really, really cool. So now, Mike, we're going to talk about a subject I know you deal with all the time. It's called cellulite.
Cellulite.
Yeah, me and you, we in the I don't know of a woman, and I don't hear this from guys. Oh my God, I got cellulite. I mean, I don't hear that from guys a lot. Mostly I hear from ladies, right? And so cellulite is one of those things that forces a woman to get liposuction or some kind of fat contouring kind of machine. But what I found out in research is that little is known about what causes cellulite. See, because cellulite is actually a fat cell. It's almost like a fat cell gone rogue because of your lack of exercise and nutrition, bad nutrition, basically is what it is. That's what it comes down to. And to explain scientifically, I have here in my notes, it says it involves fibrous connective cords that tether the skin to the underlying muscle with the fat lying between. So it's almost like it says that as the fat cells accumulate, they push up against the skin, while the long, tough cords pull down. This creates an uneven surface or dimpling. So that's where that cellulite comes in at, right? It says you can't get rid of it, but it's not harmful. It's not harmful to you to have cellulite. You can reduce the appearance by exercise, diets, and certain treatments, right? Now, I kind of frown on the treatments, but I think exercise and dieting is efficient enough. They say also that exercise smart, eat raw foods, lose a few pounds. They talk about retinol cream. Do you know about that cream?
No, I don't. But what I've used on some of my clients was, of course, aloe vera, and also there's another one. It's witch hazel.
Do you put that together?
Yeah, you can. You definitely can.
Right.
But the thing is, people are like saying, they're like, okay, Mike, how am I going to make my own cream? So that's like a whole nother story. We got to go through a whole program to do that. So you have witch hazel where you could just rub on your skin, and this is the one without alcohol.
Okay.
Witch hazel that does not contain any alcohol. And then the aloe vera, what it does, it goes in there and it starts to act as like an astringent to tighten up the skin cells. So anything you can use to tighten up the skin cells, such as your berries too, especially raspberries.
Okay. Rub raspberries on your skin?
Oh man. No. You eat the raspberries and you drink it as a tea.
Okay. Okay.
So this is internal. The aloe vera and the witch hazel is external.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the retinol cream actually, it's it's got it says the product with 0.3% retinol is best. They
Okay.
said you need to use it for at least 6 months to see the effects. It actually is designed to thicken your skin's outer layer to help cover the bumpiness, right?
Mm,
Basically, I see what they're talking about. But
okay.
that retinol cream is, I guess, it's one of those things that you just put over there, and it's supposed to, I guess, smooth out those dimples. That what they say.
Okay. And what? How do you spell that? It's called cell. What is it?
It's called, you talk retinol. It's
Yeah,
called
retinol.
right. The way you spell it is Retinol cream.
OL. Okay. Cream. Retinol cream. Wow. I never heard of that one before.
Mhm. And it's like according to a study published with the Lancet, um,
Mhm.
a detail below, drinking lots of water throughout your life helps ward off body aging and degenerative diseases as well as cellulite. So it's really interesting how they said water, and it's amazing that how we really don't protect ourselves. We don't drink enough water.
No.
How many times have you talked to somebody who says, you know what, I drink a lot of water, and I go, well, how do you measure a lot? That's what I ask them, and they go, they don't know how to answer that. So you have no idea how much water you drink, right?
No, people don't. But even for the people that, because there's a lot of people, sadly, that they don't get an adequate intake of water
Mhm.
or fluids in a day's time. So the
Right,
thing is that you can also get your water from your fruits and your vegetables. When
right,
you think about it on a context of that, you have some fruits, for example, let's say the watermelon
right,
contains over 90% of water.
right.
So you can literally eat your water.
Yeah, I just got through eating, shoot, a whole watermelon, bro. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
there you go, man.
it's pretty good. Yeah, and
Yes,
they
sir.
say just on the cellulite thing, it says how common is this condition? Well, 80 to 90% of all women have gone through puberty. That 80 or 90% of women who's gone through puberty actually have cellulite. Only less than 10% of men have cellulite. So cellulite is a common thing. It's just that because of diet and lack of exercise and hydration, it actually shows itself mostly around the hips, things like that, the leg,
Yes.
most women, right? Uh, they say that too, that although people with obesity have pronounced cellulite, it's not uncommon for very lean people to notice it too. Very lean people, I've seen models and stuff with cellulite, you know,
Yes.
because their nutrition was wrong. All they thought about was reducing the calories and doing a lot of cardio. And they didn't understand that you're not burning fat, your body's preserving it because you're not eating. you
There you go.
can't ride your car on an empty tank of gas.
There you go. But Tony, when you look at it, right? Like let's say when let's say celery, and you look at the celery itself, you see it looks strong, it looks hard.
Yes, yes.
Certain roots, even a potato, right? Which
Hmm.
is good, just like yams, anything like they're hard, they're tubers and everything like that. You see that it's hard and it looks good, and you could almost see that it's meant for the human body.
Right,
Now you take other things that's just so fatty
right,
that it's been processed,
right.
which means that it's now out of its natural state,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
It's gluey, it's
Right,
fatty.
right.
You putting that inside your body, and you literally become what you eat. That is a true saying.
Wow, man. I must have graduated from donut school,
You don't look like a donut, man. You
man.
look like a superhero, bro.
And I found these cat donuts. Well, cats, they're gluten free, man. And they, boy, on my day when I like like want to splurge, I have to do it earlier in the day because later on in the day it's gone by then. But it doesn't really make me, because I'm gluten intolerant. So it
Yes.
doesn't, when I have wheat or whatever that I know are gluten, I'm telling you, in a matter of minutes, I can feel it. So these things are pretty cool, but I have to imagine they're the real donut, because you have to keep them frozen. You can't have them out because it's rice.
Okay.
It's rice flour, so it's not the same. So they have to stay frozen to preserve it.
Wow. Okay.
It's like having non-dairy ice cream. If you don't
Yes.
eat it when you get home,
It's over.
done.
Yeah, it's a
So
wrap.
yeah, you have those things. I love donuts, but one of the things too they say too with cellulite, the way I guess collagen.
Yes, collagen. Yes.
Is a real good thing. What is your, like, older women? They don't produce nearly as much collagen. This is probably why I guess the cellulite comes out more in an older woman than it does a younger.
Then you go to you go to anything for the audience out there. When you're thinking about producing more collagen to tighten things up. I said it in I think a show about maybe 3 weeks ago, but I mentioned horsetail. Like a horse tail, and it's an herb called horsetail, and it helps to produce collagen and tighten things up, man, like you wouldn't believe. That along with bamboo.
But what about omega-3? Omega-3?
Yeah, omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9.
What about, when you're talking about those omegas, is it I've heard some people, right? I think I've told people this. If you take it and pop it, and can you squeeze that out and rub it on your skin as well?
You could do that as well, because it's just known as being first it's anti-inflammatory.
Is there a good and bad omega-3 mega vitamin?
No, I would say that all of them complement one another. The omega-3, omega-6, and the omega-9. And people get it from different sources. But you can get your omega-3s, 6s, and 9s just from your nuts and seeds. Like walnuts is loaded with them. Just the walnut alone, And then you have all, because it's what you call the good fats. You have the good fats versus the bad fats. Yeah. And then there's a war, but doesn't it come down to knowledge, more knowledge, and then also self-control?
Yeah, exactly.
How can you control yourself? And it becomes harder when you're in an environment that all it does is promote this.
Yeah.
So how do you get away from it? It's like my friends are around it, my family, the environment in which I'm in, they're around it. The whole community, the economic system, it's all over. So of course you're going to consume these foods. But then when it comes to you, the individual, you do have the human intelligence to step away from it. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm talking about successfully aging and also the longevity. And again, what I said in the beginning of the show, nutrition and exercise in your adult years.
Because when you're young, you're not thinking about it.
Man, we don't stretch. Remember, we didn't stretch and all that before and after. Man, we was in, and our parents was telling us, be in before the sun goes down.
Right. Well,
get your brother's house and eat dinner and wash your hands too.
Yeah, well, my parents told me to be in because I'm from Indiana, so that's the home of the KKK. So,
wow.
We had to be in before the sun goes down.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was a little bit different where I'm from, but yeah, you be in for the sun go down, wash your hands. But
Tony, it's almost inevitable now, just like the next disease, right?
Yeah.
Disease X, is that it is like inevitable now for people to learn how to prepare not only for what's coming next, but also getting more acclimated and used to cooking at home,
Yes.
making your own meals at home,
Right.
and form some type of self interdependency and not being dependent on food manufacturers and everything and the so-called powers that be, that you take things into your own hands. And I know people even in urban environments, they have a garden inside their apartment.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
all you need is good soil.
Yeah.
And you could produce good food.
Yeah. So we doing it too. Like the tomatoes from our yard and the different the strawberries and stuff we grow and stuff like that. Oh man, they so different.
Yes.
Bro. They're so different. So
Yes.
in a nutshell, more layman's terms about cellulite, as fat cells increase, they push against the skin. Tough, long connective cords pull down. This creates an uneven surface or dimpling. And this is where cellulite comes in at. So when I tell people in class, I said, listen, the goal is to get the muscle to do what it's designed to do when you're exercising, and that's to burn energy, which is fat. But you have to be active approximately 20 minutes in order to make that system come into play. That means when you exercise, you got to go to work. You can't, talk for 2 or 3 hours and stand around and go from one machine to the next. And you got to do the work, which, when you do the work, then the skin smooths out and you won't have that cellulite, that look you don't like, that cottage cheese, that dimple look, but I found too that people get that liposuction, and some people like it, some people don't. My personal opinion is that it's not a good thing. Every person that I've dealt with that had liposuction, they wasn't able to maintain the life that after liposuction you have to wear a compression
yes.
thing, and that's just to get the body to realize that nothing's been removed. It's almost like you're trying to make the body think that it's still there, but you have to maintain a strict diet in order so that it doesn't come back. And usually every client that I've seen, man, it's been terrible because of the cellulite. So I'm hoping that we help anyone on this thing to understand what cellulite is and how to prepare for this X thing, because hey, you guys, and Mike can contend with this, it's coming. Mike, you said it clearly. Learn how to cook your own food.
Yes.
Don't. I mean, if you even go out to eat, you're going to spend a lot of money, especially if you're healthy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some of the food that they're cooking with, you have no idea. They got so much stuff on the grill. They don't clean the grill every time. These foods are cross-contaminated.
Yes.
Unless you go to a really, really, really 6-star Michelin type, restaurant where everything is like, but that's going to call, that's a house payment.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of that is going to be irrelevant moving forward of how much money you have to go to this restaurant and that restaurant, even if it's Michelin or what have you, because people are going to be indoors anyway, and the restaurant's going to be closed like it was before. So why not take that time and start learning how to prep your foods?
Exactly.
How to use your resources that's in your community, as far as, let's say, for example, getting to know the farmers. If you have some in your community, talk to people that when you go to your local farmers market, talk to the farmers, ask them questions. How do I grow this? How do I grow that? What soil do I use?
Right.
Can I just start off with just herbs and growing like basil, oregano, thyme, sage? Because you could grow these things in your own home in a little pot, cilantro, all these things. And you're talking about putting some flavor to your food that would knock your socks off, man.
Mhm.
So this is all about just learning more, and then again sticking to your minerals.
Exactly.
I'll give
Mhm.
you a quick example, Tony. Let's say the mineral magnesium, responsible for, your muscles, your nerves, are involved in over 300 enzyme, functions inside the human body,
Right,
right?
right.
If you are deficient in magnesium,
Mhm, mhm.
then you don't get the vitamin D that you need from the sun.
Ah,
They work together. It's all interconnected. So people be trying to figure out, oh, why I got this, why I got that. No, no, no. Just pick up your magnesium levels
right,
and find out what you're deficient in. So let's say, for example, the next time you go to your primary care physician,
right,
you ask and see simply, what am I deficient in? Doctor, am I deficient in any minerals? Let's say copper, let's
right,
say zinc,
right.
let's say iron, in which a lot of women are deficient in iron, and
Mhm,
people have anemia, and then all
mhm.
of a sudden they start losing their hair. Well, me and you, we've been dead. That's gone. But I'm talking about for the ladies and everything, the women that lose their hair because
Right.
they're lacking iron.
Yeah.
The way you could counter that is that you get it from your foods, but go to your doctor and start asking questions.
Right.
Find out, what are you deficient in? Am I deficient in any minerals or vitamins? And
Right.
then you start to get answers.
Mhm.
But you have to ask the questions
Yeah.
and don't think that you know.
Right.
Because once you think you know,
Right.
this is when your human intelligence start to go to sleep.
Right.
When
Right.
you say you don't know,
Right.
whether you sleep or awake, your human intelligence is always on. So this
Exactly.
is why I'm asking questions. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I always tell people I will always and forever be a student. The,
Yes.
the moment you think you know, and you probably see this too. Um, it's like when you're teaching a class or something, you looking out there at the audience, and they don't know, but they don't want to ask. They don't want to be committed. They think it automatically. And if I talk to Mike, if I talk to Tony, I'm gonna have to give up the things that I like. I'm going, well, you're here because of the things you like. I mean, it's like it's like, just talk to me. It's okay. You may have to give it up for a season so that your body can tell you that these things are killing you,
Yeah. Yeah.
because your body has adapted to those things.
Absolutely. But
You-
Tony, hey
yeah.
Tony, I would love to hear your feedback on this.
Uh,
Now, we do know when it comes to nutrition, right? And this is we're going to talk about right now. Well, I'm talking about your
okay.
macronutrients,
Okay.
right? Which is going to be your fat,
Right.
your protein, and your
Right.
carbohydrates.
Right.
Now, do you think sometimes people simply can have just too much of one of those macronutrients
Mhm.
when it comes to nutrition that
Mhm.
could lead to that cellulite as well? Because isn't there a fine line between certain fats, your protein, and your carbohydrates each day?
Yes, there is, because science. It takes the way God has it set up. It's just an amazing system. You've heard this probably before. The pie chart, which is fats 5 to 10%, and carbs is more than your protein. And there's a reason, because the way God has created us to control our health is called a 2-to-1 ratio. You probably heard, like, when it comes to carbs and protein, 2 grams of carbs to every 1 gram of protein, right?
Mm,
That is a standard right there. Okay. And here's the catch. People don't really understand it, but God is, well, He created us. He's so amazing. But it takes 3 grams of carbs to transport 1 gram of protein to the muscle.
wow.
Now think about it. If you're at 2-to-1, because as a bodybuilder, that's one of the things I learned.
Mhm.
So if you at 2 to 1 and you doing your thing and you keeping that fat between 5 and 10% and you cool, that 1%, that one carb, that one extra that transport that protein actually controls your weight, controls your health, controls everything that you go through, your energy level.
Wow.
Or when you go on a diet, or when you literally stop the process. Body. It's crazy. It's crazy to think when I looked at that, man, I'm going, this is genius.
That's amazing.
It takes more carbs to transport 1 gram of protein. It takes an additional gram of carbohydrates to take 1 gram of protein. The protein never changed.
Wow.
So while you're training, the protein heals, the carbs is the energy, and the fat's the lubricant. That's how I look at it.
That's amazing. The thing is that, most people don't know that information with the macronutrients and then also the micronutrients.
That matters.
Yeah.
It really matters to know that. And that's why people like yourself and myself, see, we're giving something back. And I got to let you guys know, Mike and I are giving something. This is a heart. We want you to support us. There's so many ways to support us. We also have a donation button. If you go to our website, you could actually donate to the show, donate to the cause, or whatever you give is okay. You'll see that if you go to touchefitness.com, if you go to the website, you'll see Ageless Live Show. You'll see all of that on there as well, to help donate. But Mike and I, we truly have a conviction to be able to help you to understand from a human standpoint. Because if we talk science, sometimes we got to talk science. But the thing is we need you to understand that we simply care, basically. And so when you have this information, I never assume people know. I never assume they know, Mike, because they always tell me, like my daughter, she's always saying, when I'm talking to my daughter, you probably know, I know, Dad. And I'm going, oh, wow, okay, so you know a whole lot right now. So why are you still talking to me for answers, And today she still says that to me, But the whole thing is, just so that the audience will know, Mike and I, we're going to be here every Sunday at 8 a.m. And what we want to integrate is exercise. So Mike, I'm thinking, man, what do you think about this? What do you think about actually doing, you present, I present, maybe we can do a video of something and put it in the corner and just talk to the audience why we did that. And
absolutely.
We can do something like that. But so we're taking your recommendations or whatever. If you have any ideas or whatever that you're looking for us to give to you, we're here for you. And I think that's going to be really cool. I think I'm going to set up some stuff too myself. Yeah. Maybe we can do it live, and maybe we can do whatever that we want to do. Just have fun with it. Yeah. What I did do too is I found some things like you can take a video and literally, without you doing it, you can find a video and put it on there as well.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And then Tony, by the way, you and I combined together, we do have the knowledge not only to train everybody that's looking to exercise and improve their quality of lives, right, but we're talking about athletes, professional athletes, no matter who you are, right, we have something for you, seniors, adolescents, children, so we have that combined knowledge in which we can put it all together. So not only for just strength training, but we're talking about to work on your motor skills, your flexibility, your stamina, your endurance to prevent certain diseases in these later years in life, and also to prevent it when you're younger, so you don't even have to go down that path.
Yeah, and you also have to think about too, being a singer or an actor or whatever. If you have a busy lifestyle, we do that too. We help you to understand, because you're on a whole different level. So just to say, please share the show, the content. Hope you love the show. Mike, do you have anything in closing to say to our audience, my brother?
Yes, my brother from another mother. So I would like to say to the audience out there is that the time in life when you realize that you're not looking to be special and to like stand out, this is when you become unique. Life is all about uniqueness in the way in which you can be yourself. And we had an old saying in the neighborhood back in the days, Tony, said, be yourself or find yourself by yourself.
That's a t-shirt.
There you go. Be yourself or find yourself by yourself.
Wow.
I write it to you anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, write it to me. Yeah. Because
yes,
at the end of the day, that's all you got is yourself. That's amazing. So, hey, so what I'm going to say too in closing is, Michael, thank you so much for your time, brother.
It was a joy. It's always a joy.
You know, I'm looking forward to great things. I think you and I, we can collaborate, you know, later about what we're going to bring to the audience, and all the sponsors that work with us, especially Michael's company, Successful Aging. And you can reach Michael, actually, I think we have it on the screen. At what is it, Mike?
Yeah, Mike Green. That's, yep.
Mike Green.
Yes. Yep.
Please,
exactly.
Please reach out to Michael because he is an amazing, amazing brother, and he's a great friend. So please, please use us. Use us, okay? Because we're here for you. So I wanted to say too, every time you are tempted to react the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. Your future. You got to ask yourself that every day. So nothing beats a failure but a try. As long as you try, you're always going to be a winner, right? Absolutely. So with that, Mike and I, especially me, I send my love to you guys. Mike, thank you. Blessings.
Thank you, Tony.
And I'll see you next week on Ageless.
Work them arms, work them legs, strong for life because hard work pays.